Commander Sarah Chun stood before the gleaming doors of the Galactic Council's Grand Assembly Hall, her weathered combat armor reflecting the soft luminescence of the crystalline walls. The dry crimson stains across her chest plate told stories that the pristine corridors of this floating palace had never witnessed. "Commander," Ambassador Vexto clicked disapprovingly, his 6 eyes rotating to examine her appearance. The Zephyrian's translucent skin rippled with patterns of disdain. The dress code clearly states formal attire for emergency sessions. Sarah's scarred hand rested casually on her plasma rifle's grip. "This is formal, Ambassador. It's my dress uniform. That armor is stained with ... with ... Vexto's mandibles twitched in revulsion. Blood. Relkin blood, mostly. Some Harvester ichor mixed in. Sarah's voice carried the weight of 3 sleepless rotations defending the Kepler 442 colonies. Fresh from the front lines, as requested by the Council's urgent summons, the towering doors parted with a whisper, revealing the circular amphitheater where representatives from 47 species debated the fate of civilizations. Conversations died as Sarah's boots echoed against the polished floor. The metallic scrape of her damaged leg servo punctuated each step a souvenir from the Harvester war machine that had nearly claimed her life. High Chancellor Morden, a crystalline being whose body refracted light into rainbow patterns, leaned forward from the central podium. "Commander Chun, we expected more appropriate presentation for these proceedings." "Appropriate?" Sarah's laugh held no humor. "I was told to come immediately to address the Council's concerns about human military tactics. I assumed you wanted to hear from someone who actually uses those tactics." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The delicate ethereal delegation shimmered with nervous energy, while the militant Chronos representatives leaned forward with interest. The blood ... Senator Quillen from the Pacifist Alliance gestured weakly with her gossamer appendages. "It's quite disturbing." Sarah looked down at her armor, then back at the assembly. "This blood represents the 17 colonies your diplomatic solutions failed to save. Each stain is a settlement the Harvesters consume while you debated proper channel protocols." She walked to the center of the chamber, her damaged servo grinding audibly in the hushed space. "You summoned me here to explain why humans fight. Barbarically, why we don't follow your civilized rules of engagement. Why we dirty ourselves with close combat when you have clean, sterile orbital bombardments." High Chancellor Mordoon's crystalline form darkened. "Your species' propensity for violence concerns the Council. The reports from Kepler 442, the reports show victory." Sarah interrupted. "For the first time in this war, the Harvesters retreated. Not negotiated withdrawal, not strategic repositioning. They fled." Ambassador Keffer of the military caste stood, his reptilian features marked with ritual scars. "At what cost, human? The casualty reports are acceptable." Sarah's words cut through the chamber like a blade. "We lost 800 Marines. The Harvesters would have consumed 47,000 colonists. Every species here understands mathematics." She began walking around the chamber's perimeter, forcing the representatives to turn and follow her movement. "You want to know why this armor is stained? Because while your species fight at comfortable distances clean, proper, civilized humans get close enough to smell our enemy's fear." The ethereal delegation recoiled as Sarah passed their section. "When a Harvester drone tears through your shield wall, when its claws are reaching for your throat, there's no time for proper procedures. You stab it with whatever you have. You bite if you must. You make sure it dies before it calls reinforcements." Senator Quillen's voice trembled. Surely there were alternatives to such ... brutality. Sarah stopped walking and faced a pacifist delegation directly. "Senator, the Harvesters don't negotiate. They don't accept surrender. They consume living tissue for fuel and reproduction. The only language they understand is violence." High Chancellor Mordoon's form brightened with authority. "The Galactic Council maintains that all conflicts can be resolved through what?" Sarah's voice rose, echoing off the chamber walls. "Through the same diplomatic channels that lost us 16 systems. through the same civilized approach. That allowed them to establish breeding grounds on Proxima 3. She gestured to her armor's damage. This dent in my chest plate? That's from tackling a harvester queen off a nursery balcony. 23 human children were sleeping below. I didn't have time to file a proper engagement request. The chamber fell silent except for the steady grind of Sarah's servo. You called me here because you're afraid, she continued. Afraid that humanity's methods reflect poorly on the Council's authority. Afraid that other species might adopt our barbaric tactics if they prove effective. Ambassador Vextul's skin patterns shifted to defensive configurations. The concern is that your species' influence could destabilize centuries of diplomatic progress. Sarah laughed again, this time with genuine amusement. Diplomatic progress? The Harvesters have consumed 47 systems in 2 years. Your diplomatic progress gave them a buffet. She began removing pieces of her armor, revealing the pale scars beneath. This scar across my ribs? That's from diving into a harvester feeding pit to extract survivors. Not very diplomatic. The armor pieces hit the polished floor with metallic clangs that echoed through the chamber. This burn on my shoulder? From carrying a Zephyrian child through plasma fire while your military maintained safe engagement distances. More armor fell away, each piece a testament to close combat and personal sacrifice. You want humans to fight cleanly? To maintain proper military courtesy while an enemy designed to consume sentient life tears through the galaxy? Sarah stood in her base fatigues, scars visible across her arms and neck. Then you fight them yourselves. She began reassembling her armor with practiced efficiency. Every stain on this armor represents a life saved through violence. Every dent is a monster that won't consume another family. If that disturbs your sensibilities, perhaps you should reconsider who you're more afraid of, the enemy that wants to eat you, or the ally willing to get dirty stopping them. High Chancellor, more dooms form dim with consideration. And if the Council were to officially sanction these methods? Sarah sealed the final armor plate and shouldered her rifle. Then maybe next time I have backup. She turned toward the chamber exit, her servo grinding with each step. But I won't wait for official sanction to save lives. The next time you have an emergency session about human tactics, try scheduling it for after the emergency is over. The massive doors closed behind her with a definitive whisper, leaving the Council to debate the price of survival in a galaxy that didn't always offer clean solutions. In the corridor outside, Ambassador Vextul caught up with her. Commander? Off the record. The bloodstains. Were they really necessary for dramatic effect? Sarah looked down at her armor, then back at the ambassador. Who said anything about dramatic effect? She walked away, leaving Vextul to contemplate the implications of humanity's definition of formal wear.